There's not a moment I think that goes by that you can't be proud of who you are and what you represent. So, on behalf of me and a lot of guys on the team and a lot of people in this audience, thank you for being Matt Slater.
As we all travel along this road of life, you come across special people, and I feel truly blessed to have come across Matthew in my life, and I know that I'll always cherish our times together. We'll forever be brothers.
I think the truth about Matthew is the things to come are far greater than anything he's done so far. So, great job, Matthew.
What some of you may not know is my post-career plan is to be an associate pastor at Nate Solder's church that he's going to start. So tonight, we're getting a little practice in. So for those of you that weren't in church on Sunday, welcome to the Tuesday night service, and everybody that's involved with the integration initiative. I really want to thank you guys, and I really hope that you know that the work that you're doing, it has eternal purpose. You guys are really changing lives. It's really about the kids tonight. It's not about me. I've been fortunate to spend some time with these kids off and on for the last 10 years since I've been in New England, and they're really the stars of the night. So let's hear it for them again. You see, my story is no more important than any of your stories that are sitting out here tonight. We all have a story, and our story is unique. And I think what we all in here should learn from these young people in the room tonight that we're celebrating is that everyone's story matters. And I think that we need to take the time and pause and think about our story. Think about how fortunate many of us in this room have been. We've been given a lot. We're very blessed. And I think a lot of times with the fast-paced lives that we live, we don't really get an opportunity to just pause, to be still, and consider how good we have it. We live in the greatest country in the world. We're free to do and come and go as we please. Many of us in here are in good health. We have family. We have loved ones. We have people that care about us. We have resources. We have opportunity. These are things that we should never take for granted. And these young people in the room tonight, they have very, very special stories. Very special stories. And I'm sure the beginning of the story maybe wasn't what mom and dad had planned or dreamed or envisioned. I'm sure at times mom and dad and child, son, daughter were frustrated, felt like giving up, had to answer a lot of questions, left with a lot of questions. Why? But you know what? They overcame. They continued to believe. They continued to lean on one another. And that, to me, is really what this integration initiative is about. It's about not us telling our story by ourselves, but telling it together. And I think we can never lose sight of that. As your story unfolds, as you come in contact with different people, it's important to understand that we have a lot more in common than we realize at times. You know, I think we live in a world today where we really like to focus on the things that divide us, whether it's politics, religion, whatever it is. But I think if we really stop and think about it, we all have some of the same basic needs. We all want to be loved. We all want to be respected. We all want to be appreciated. We all want to be valued. No different than these kids in the back. We feel the same way every day. And I think what we need to do is take the time to understand, hey, I've got a lot more in common with this person than I thought. Black, white, you name it. Everybody wants to focus on the differences. But we have a lot more in common than we think. Sure, we've we've had a different road to walk than many of these kids in the back, but we feel the same thing. We hurt like they hurt. We dream like they dream. And that's why I'm so appreciative of being able to be around these young people and be around the people that are building it up and helping them. Because they understand that. They understand that there's something in us that is the same. The other thing that I really feel like this integration initiative does is build on the powerful impact that relationships can have. Now, when I think about 2017, in theory, we're more connected than we ever have been. But to me, it feels as though we're more disconnected from the human element, the relational element, than we ever have been. I walk around, I see people heads in their phones all the time. Texting, checking the, update. I do it myself. What we need to get back to is investing in one another relationally. Because one thing that I believe as a Christian is we were not made to live life on our own. We were made for relationship. And, I see it on display every day. The power of coming together, the power of a team, the power of positive relationships, supporting one another. I mean, you see it on Sundays. You see the final product when we go out there and win what seems like game after game after game. But a lot of that has to do with the relationship of the guys in that locker room, the trust that we have in one another, the time that we've invested in getting to know one another. We all need to get back to doing that. And that's what I love about the people at the Y and what they do with these kids. They're invested. They're invested in who these kids are as people. They're taking the time to get to know them relationally. And that's something I think that we all need more of. We all need more of that. So I want to challenge you. No good preacher leaves a sermon without issuing a challenge. That's what I've learned. I want to challenge you to do a couple of things when you leave here. I want you to take some time, turn the TV off, put the phone down, and think about your story. It may not be all good. You may be in a tough spot right now. You may be experiencing some adversity, some trials, some doubt, some fear. But your story is still relevant. It still matters. It's still unique. It's one of one. And I hope you understand that. Appreciate your story. Appreciate your journey. Appreciate every day that you have on this earth, because tomorrow's not guaranteed to any of us. Secondly, I want to challenge you to get to know the story of those around you, the people you work with, your families, maybe even a stranger. I don't know. I think there's something for all of us to learn about someone else's story. I certainly have learned so much from these young people, more than I'll ever be able to teach them, simply by taking the time to stop, close my mouth, and listen. And lastly, I would say to you this: relationships. People, time waits on no man. We have to take the time that we have together and maximize it. relationships. We're better off together than we'll ever be by ourselves. I would like to say thank you again to everyone for coming out tonight. And I surely hope that we've learned something, not from me, from these people in the back. The stories that we saw up on that screen tonight, stories like Danny's. Powerful, powerful. This is what life is about. It's about people. And we have an opportunity to leave a lasting mark on someone else's story. Thank you, guys.